Today, to start and really set the scene, I think, to the fourth session that Neuronet has organized, I have to introduce a little bit, and sorry for those that are old friends and know I've heard this thing 20 times, but I think it's important that everyone knows about what we are, what is the Innovative Medicine Initiative, what we are doing, and why we think it's important that we are very active in the field of dementia, Alzheimer, and all the things that are necessary to get some new good treatment and solution for people that need this solution. So first of all, what is the Innovative Medicine Initiative that I will shortly IMI? So it's a public-private partnership. That means is a joint undertaking, is a joint initiative that has been created by the European Commission and the FPA, the European organization that is the umbrella organization under this, or the main companies that are active, especially in particular, for example, in this field, but in many others, are included. And it has been it is an organization where we have funding that is provided by the European Commission, which is a lot of funding. And then we have on the other side a organization, the one under the FP organization, that are providing resources that are mainly in-kind resources. That means mainly people in this organization that give their time, and which is very valuable time, because it's time that then they don't use for the internal business of the company, to work together in collaborative projects to get something done that otherwise would never been done, in short. And we have a mission that it is that why we have been created is really to facilitate open collaboration in research to advance the development of new treatment, but not only advance this treatment. We already heard yesterday the key speaker that said, we can have something very beautiful thing done in the lab, but how do we get it in the patient? This is the so-called access. So that's also an area where IMI is become more and more active. Great idea, great solution can be developed in the lab, but then they need to get to the fruition. So how we do that? And why we do that? Because since we are handling significant amount of funding from the public side, so taxpayer funding, we need to be sure that gets to fruition for the well-being of all, especially in area of unmet medical need. And that's, of course, the area of all the need for the people with dementia is an extremely area that very needy. So just to a little bit more about the budget, but it's a bit technical, but I think it's important to understand that we are a very special animal, because on one side, as I say, we have the benefit to have a very large pot of public money that can invest in initiative. But also, most importantly, we need to get engagement of organizations that are actually very important, because are the ones that actually are doing the business in this area from different aspects, that they say, okay, we think it is important to create something in IMI, and then they decide and align together to get the resources together, and then on the basis of these resources, we are able then to get an amount of funding allocated to a specific project, and then we can launch the process that will get us to eventually an initiative in reality. And the point is that we work a lot with the pharmaceutical company. They are part of our funding members, so-called, but we are an enlarging family. That means that, which is really important, because as we heard, we need a new solution that maybe need collaboration between the pharmaceutical company, but also new kids in the blocks, which are getting more and more in this space, and which, honestly, they don't have a clue how to work in this space. So that's, I think, is the next challenges that we have to take, but slowly. And so we have many different companies that now think that is important to work together and they have become also member of this FPIA organization just to play in IMI. These are the so-called FPIA partner in research. In addition, we have also the privilege that we are able to also join forces with non-for-profit organizations that have understand that they found that it's very important to work together in the space of health and medical research. And these are the so-called associated partners of IMI. Here is the list. Unfortunately, we don't have, we don't have any that is still, let's say, specific for Alzheimer. I really hope that soon we'll be able to also to have maybe some that are more relevant, but I think they are usually very innovative, often are patient-driven organizations, and they are fantastic partners, really, really important that they have allowed to create a really important initiative. So I'm still hope that we can have also some joining in the Alzheimer field. But so what do we do in IMI? What do we attack? So first of all, we cannot do everything, and we cannot do for everybody, but we can do some things that really no other mechanism can do. For example, we have been able to pull different information, different data, different access from many different sources in order to get them, all this data together. We know that a lot of things are done in different countries. We have a solution that is in one country, but people in another country don't know about it, because they don't see the data. If we can put the data all together, maybe we can help this learning to be more diffuse. We have created very complex technological platform, infrastructures. We are really tackling some societal challenges that otherwise nobody would do. And more in practice, I think we are there to get really to try to solve problems where different people in different organizations, different stakeholders are required to be there from the beginning. We have heard also again yesterday the fact that we have very nice things done in research that they never become in practice, because then there are all a series of problems that appear and that the academic or the scientists didn't know about it. But if we have the end user and those in the partnership from the beginning, maybe we can solve this problem. So that's really the type of things that we do. And of course, we are always willing and interested to get new actors in. Oops, now I done it something wrong. Okay. So I think it's apparent to what we do so in Alzheimer Europe and in this meeting. We are real there to make connection and hopefully to try to break silos. And we have done it quite a lot already. We have more than 150 projects. But the point is that if you want to make connection and if you want to break silos, you have to have the right environment. So you need something that is sort of a neutral platform where everybody can work together and feel comfortable to work together, sort of a little protected space, so that really, indeed, we can do something that hopefully is not solo a little step forward, but something that could really maybe be a transformation of how business usual is made. And we have put many different stakeholders together, and as you can see here, depending on the different project, we have different stakeholders that work together, different groups, but especially we have been very, very keen in get the patient and patient organization in the project, and as we see in the next slides, also in the organization. So if we look at a patient involved in IMI project, we really have done our best, and we continue to do really to have them in the center, so that we have about more than 20% of the project that have a patient organization represented, and about 30% of active projects that the patient in the advisory board and consulted with patient if they are not really partner, and about at least half of the project give a strong voice to patient, either by having them a full partner or giving an active role in the project. So we really try to get this, and this is becoming more and more really a must for our project. Of course, depends a little bit on the type of project. And I'm also very happy to say that Alzheimer Europe is partner in most projects in Alzheimer's disease. Maybe some very, very early that are really just only doing assay in the lab, but otherwise I would say the critical one, we are very grateful to have Alzheimer Europe there. But now we are also moving forward. So really, let's say we started with little baby steps, also because, again, we were the first. Somehow we are always the first to try to do something. And then, of course, maybe we don't get it right from the beginning, but at least we try and we move forward. And so for initial to strategic patient engagement. So now the point is how we can manage to get patient in the strategy. So we have important organs, that is the one that is give advice, that is our scientific committee, where we have a patient representative in the board. So out of 13 members, one is a patient. And more, now we have also created a pool of patient experts, which we hope, again, this is a complete first experiment ever in the European funding agency and everything. So we have really learned. I really would like that the patient could still contribute to shape what we do, and also, most importantly, to improve the quality of what we do. Because, again, only to listen to the voice of the patient, which are the most important end user of hopefully what has been created, is you can have the best quality. And so we want that also not only sometimes we don't see results that instead could be very important for patient. Of course, it could be also the people with dementia, but it can be people with cancer, can be so patient visits in general, okay? But where appropriate, we really would like that the individual that have the condition, that know the condition, are those that really tell us this is important and this may be. So that we really, since we cannot do it all, we can really focus on what is important. We have 118 patients and 39 family members in former carers, and we are very happy that there are 3 people with dementia and 3 supporters from the European Working Group of People with Dementia. So I think it's a good, considering that there are so many conditions and so many needy, diseases, that I think is a very good result, and thank you for having been able to join this. I think it will be an interesting exercise. But so in IMI we do lots of things. As you can see here, we are active in many, many different areas, but we have been very active also in brain disorders in general, of which project in neurodegeneration and area related to dementia are a big chunk, so more than 300 million euro have been invested. And that is why, because of course we have in a tsunami situation with dementia, with numbers that will increase more and more, and probably these things you have seen in many times, but I think it's very important. And is also something that need to be done in a timely way, because things are escalating, so we need to really be able to do something in an effective way. And then also the point is just to start from the first project. We talk about dementia, people with dementia. What is a person with dementia? Dementia is, after all, a set of symptoms, it is an umbrella organization with many different types of disease underneath, of which, of course, Alzheimer's disease is one of the most important. But I think this is also a challenge, the fact that there is so many different people with maybe different type of biology, of mechanism that get wrong in their system, which is the brain, and maybe not only the brain. That's also what we have to also think in a more holistic way. And so this is a big, big challenge. Then I think also we have to think of the fact that there are many different needs that need to be addressed and need different type of approaches, different type of stakeholders that have the people with dementia. And also the fact that there is a very correlation between chronic condition like dementia and cost, but still maybe we need to be better really to demonstrate all this and to create some tools that those that have to work with this cost have to have ready so that they can really make a case and get some good implementation of what can be a nice solution that can be developed in research. So, and then we know that, as already told, we have to go early. We are moving early. So we have to look at what is the risk for one day having dementia, how these things develop, but also what to do with the big population that is there, that is already having the symptoms. And even if we will be extremely successful with the treatment tomorrow, we have a big population of people that need solution now, tomorrow, in the next year. So I think it's important to think about the whole spectrum. So, and also what is important that, as I said, we talk about diagnosis, we talk about dementia, is it Alzheimer, is it another thing? So, but really the point is we need to understand what is behind a diagnosis, which means from what is the classical, let's say, diagnosis that we see in these books here, and that are what the patient, the clinician have to use to put a label that maybe can help an individual to get access to some important services and maybe some medication when available, but we need to understand what is the biology underneath, and that is what the research program are doing. And we have also to think that maybe when we talk about diagnosis, we will have also to go maybe some time also out of the box completely, because we have more idea that, for example, certain symptoms that can be very burdensome. There can be, for example, in this case, social withdrawal, like I studied on our PRISM project. You can see them in individual with dementia, you can see it in individual with schizophrenia, you can see it in individual with depression, but what is the biology behind? And if we have a drug that is developed, can be given to this same population, we know the problem of psychiatric symptoms in individual with dementia and the challenges and also the terrible side effects and cost of this. So we really sometimes we will need to think out of the box. So, but then, you know, this is an old story, no slides, but still I take it all. So what it makes to take a drug for Alzheimer's disease? A lot. And that is the success rate. So if the people start with some good ideas on one side of the funnel, and then we get to the end, here you see what is normally in other type of diseases, and here is what we have for Alzheimer. So this is very, very challenging. But that's why, I mean, there is an interesting new publication from Philip Shecker that said we had to get things right. And so, of course, we need to find the right biology for treating the patient, so the right target. Then we need to get it to a treatment, which is not trivial. It's a lot of work, a lot of things can go wrong, and indeed they go wrong. Then we need to find the right patient, and we need to have some tools that allow us to say, oh, this is the right individual that should get the treatment, the drug, so we need the right biomarker. And then we need to find, indeed, on the basis of that, who should be the right participant, who should be the right population that can get the best benefit for this drug, because the first principle of a doctor is not harm. And then, of course, we need to be able to demonstrate that there is an effect, because, of course, this needs to be approved by regulator, but most importantly, need to become a treatment that can get to the patient, that hopefully can be reimbursed so that people can afford to get it. And so it's a long step that need a lot of steps, not of rights, but also to get the rights to become treatment. We really, most important, the most strategic approach, a programmatic, a highly collaborative, and really public-private, getting everybody in the same boat to work together. And that's the approach that's been taken by IMI. We have a strategic governance group in neurodegeneration that has been working and busy in this area, really trying to see what needs to be done, starting from an idea to a treatment, what are the boxes and the type of research that need to be done to get there. And that's why we have, of course, some different projects that are active from very early, looking at really which can be the molecule, which would be the mechanism that could be important, but also then how to get it to the patient, to understand which part of the brain are involved, and then, of course, how to deliver it, so the clinical trials. There can be real clinical trials. Also, most importantly, try to get all the information that is out there, the so-called real-world evidence, and try also to work on that to get some important information that sometimes the trials cannot get. And then, last but not least, as I said, really get the data that are needed, that everybody needs to get the treatment to the patient. And so this is a busy slide, and I'm very happy that got busiest and busiest, because that means we have invested on this. But just to say that, and you will hear from some of this project, we will have some presentation from projects that are really trying to get some new ideas or new target, also try to understand what new target means, like for example, ApoE, have you heard, is a big risk factor, is a target, what does it do, why? Not very clear yet, I think. So, but also look at a new way of the so-called, what is called taxonomy of disease, that is, means what really the diagnosis in short. What is this disease? What does it mean? Is it a one disease? Is it many diseases? Is it many conditions? And then, of course, clinical trials, and then also really work on try to get the best data and the best evidence to get the treatment for the patient. Really, so an end-to-end approach, so from the biology to the treatment, for a personalized, hopefully, medicine treatment, from prevention, treatment, and health management. So, and then, of course, last important thing, there are so many things going on, and it's all fragmented. Nobody knows what the right hand is doing and the left hand is doing. What is done in Germany, what is done in Spain, what is done in the Netherlands, what is done at European level, what is done in US, what is done in Japan, and whatever. And then we end up duplicating or not synergizing. So we started early. We created the so-called Alzheimer disease platform. At that point, we had only really 3 projects that on a goodwill base decided to join together and work together. And now we have Neuronet. And I think it's a big success. It took a long time to get even this small thing, but I think it's extremely important, because not only is it important to create projects, but we need to facilitate collaboration between the project, between the initiative, and also to deliver results faster, create efficiency, create value by really sharing the learning. This is the most important thing, because there are so many learnings, but people have no time really to join the dots. So we are really excited to have this initiative that really is there to help everybody to join the dots. And then we are finishing in IMI 2. We are launching the 2 calls, the last 2 calls this year. But we are preparing now, busy, for a new partnership that we will launch under the new program that is called the Horizon Europe. The title, the name is not known yet, but it will be something between health and partnership, that for sure. Then I will see. But why we need it is because Europe is a crossroad, really, and now it's really about implementing solutions, and also getting the new type of player involved and collaborative, which means that this will be a partnership that will involve also many new type of industry, like device, diagnostic, imaging, as part really of the partnership from the beginning. And there is an opportunity to ensure that the voice of people with dementia is heard. That is, there is a public consultation, and which is open as yesterday, on what will be the strategic research agenda for the new partnership. So please provide your input, because that's the only way to ensure that the voice of people for dementia will be heard. And I will thank you.